DILLIAN the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, so let's do a proper review of DILLIAN WHYTE versus Lucas Browne for the WBC Silver Heavyweight Championship. Now, DILLIAN WHYTE was number 1 ranked coming into this, and this win against a 25-0 undefeated former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, regular champion of course, dominated him. DILLIAN WHYTE dominated him from round 1 up into round number 6 when he caught him with a sweet left hook. I mean, it was pitch perfect. Lucas Browne went down, face down, and needed gas and air and got rushed off to hospital as soon as he managed to get sat up. Now, there was some bits obviously that did aid DILLIAN WHYTE in some ways, but at the end of the day, DILLIAN WHYTE done it right. He hit Lucas Browne with some sweet crisp shots and started a bit of a welt in the first round and on the top corner of the left eye of Lucas Browne. And from round number 2, it started bleeding, and of course DILLIAN was attacking that right the way through and was hitting him with some vicious body shots. Now, Lucas Browne, he did come in with 3 rounds in, what, 2 years? Okay, so, no, sorry, 2 rounds in 2 years since he won the WBA regular title from Ruslan Jagayev. Now, DILLIAN WHYTE, a bit more active, of course, but DILLIAN was asking for this fight, and Lucas, he came to fight, and you could see when the names were being announced and the walk to the ring and everything, he was calm, he was focused, and he looked like he meant business. And he was trying to land on DILLIAN. That was his whole game plan. Land the big right and it's over. And he's been saying that right the way through the build-up. I have 12 rounds to land that big right. Problem is, DILLIAN WHYTE is actually more difficult to hit than what people seem to think that he is. And I've been telling you guys this. Now, DILLIAN is my favourite heavyweight. That's common knowledge. Okay, see, a lot of people think that AJ is, but yeah, I mean, AJ, of course, you know, I love AJ and all that kind of stuff, and Tyson Fury and every other kind of British fighter, but DILLIAN WHYTE is my favourite heavyweight. Now, as I said, from round number 2, actually, quickly backtracking there, DILLIAN did say on the build-up to this that Lucas Browne is susceptible to cuts, and that's how he knows he's going to beat him. And that proved exactly right. So DILLIAN WHYTE's prediction was spot on. And to knock him out was spot on. Now, see, I predicted round 8 or round 9 for DILLIAN WHYTE to knock him out. Bearing in mind, he was coming in with a 25-0. But I thought inactivity and the fact that DILLIAN is progressing and the fact that DILLIAN has had a full camp for the first time since the Joshua fight. See, a lot of people don't really either know that or forget that. Because when he fought Derek Chisora, when he fought, Malcolm Tan, he knew about 2 or 3 days before the fight. You know, with Derek Chisora, he had 5-6 weeks, and Robert Helenius, he had 2 weeks notice and all this kind of thing. So this is the first time he actually had a proper camp. So this showed you that DILLIAN WHYTE is much better than what a lot of you guys think. So you guys calling him trash, now you see why Deontay Wilder has been ducking him. I told you that he was afraid of DILLIAN WHYTE, and this proved it. But anyway, back to the review. So yeah, round number 2, Lucas Browne, his left eye was cut, and it was bleeding quite badly actually. And of course, DILLIAN sees that, and he goes for the blood, really. And much like his ring entrance when he had a bit of the Jaws music mixed with some Gladiator style music, which was really good entrance, by the way. Right before he cut to his usual AC/DC, big up AC/DC. I love AC/DC. So, yeah, he's seen blood, and that was it. And from that moment, I knew DILLIAN was going to stop him. I knew. But the way that it was going, all the way through round 3, round 4, I thought the referee needs to stop this fight. The medical team need to stop this fight. He was bleeding too much, and I'm surprised that they didn't. I suppose because it was an important fight. Had Lucas Browne managed to catch him with the big right, then, you know, he would have become the number 1 in the WBC, right? Especially as Mauricio Sulaiman is sat there in the crowd next to Eddie Hearn. And and you know fine well that Eddie Hearn's going to be speaking to Suleiman, who is the WBC president, to officially make him the mandatory. Forget about Dominic Breazeale. Of course, we'll take Dominic Breazeale, but let's get Wilder in the ring and let's get him in next. But this was a very, very one-sided performance from Dillian. Dillian made him look average. It's not that Lucas Browne is garbage. You know, he beat Ruslan Chagaev. Okay, he was getting on a bit, but still, he was WBA regular champion. He was champion of the world. Okay, and Dillian Whyte made him look like he was an amateur. That's what he done. It's not like Lucas Browne put on a bad performance. He had no choice because Dillian was doing that. Every time Lucas Browne flinched to put a jab out or a big punch out, either Dillian wasn't there or he was throwing back on much quicker, straight down the pipe, and it was his jab that was the most effective. Even like a little jab to the gut, and you know, you could see that Lucas Browne come in with like a bit more timber around his gut than what he usually does. Not much, because you know he's always been a little bit podgy, but Dillian was cracking him with some beautiful body shots. And you know, I'm sat here at home watching it, and I'm like, damn, that must hurt. Must really, really hurt. And it's at times like this I'm kind of gutted that you know, I don't live in London no more, so because you know, I couldn't get to watch it, but I will certainly make the effort to go watch him take on Wilder at the O2, providing, of course, Wilder will accept. He probably won't. You know what he's like. Refuse to take a step up. But now you can see, because this was shown on HBO over in America, why Deontay Wilder's been avoiding him. And that's the truth of it. I mean, you know, you can say what you like about Dillian before this. You can say, yeah, but he still didn't look very good because Lucas Browne didn't look very good. You can make excuse after excuse as much as you want. I told you, when Dillian Whyte has a full training camp, he is devastating. I told you this, and it proved it ultimately on the night with a beautiful, beautiful knockout. It was one of the most devastating knockouts I've seen in a long, long time. Put it this way, I don't even recall them showing the replay of it on Sky Sports. I didn't see the replay of it. Unless, of course, they showed it once when I went out to get a quick drink. But that's how bad it was. That's how brutal it was. Lucas Browne went down in round number 6, flat on his face, and stayed motionless. It was like the scene out of Rocky IV when Drago hit Apollo Creed. You know, he went down there, twitching on the floor, that kind of thing. It was similar, but without twitching. And right away, I seen him there, and I was like, damn, I hope he's all right. I really do, because he does seem like a bit of a decent guy at times, you know. I mean, with the way that he comes across on camera, you know, and of course he's coming to, you know, from the other side of the world, from Australia. Obviously he's on his own, if you like. So, you know, I kind of felt bad for him. I don't know, that's just part of my personality. I do feel bad for people who are like on their own. I don't know why, but I did. But of course I wanted Dillian to win, and I want him to win in perfect fashion, perfect display, and that's exactly what he done. Look at Dillian Whyte's face. 6 rounds. Did you see a scratch on his face? No. I think he got hit on the nose a couple of times. He had like a little bit of a blood in round number 4, I think it was, coming down Dillian Whyte's nose. But outside of that, nothing. He was in full control. Focused. Totally focused. And one of my worries going into this fight was that Dillian was going to maybe get emotionally invested because of the build-up, saying about, like, you know, Lucas is racist and, you know, this, that and the other. But, I mean, it's unfortunate that Lucas went down the way that he did and needed medical attention, like, straight away. As soon as they managed to sit him up, they rushed him straight out the ring, so there's no, like, hugs and, you know what I mean? There's nothing like that. There's no kind of making up, if you like, between Dillian and Lucas, unfortunately. But, of course, when Lucas was down, face down, Dillian did go straight over to see if he's all right. So, you know, that shows that it's not always as serious as what these guys make out, but in the sense of the beef. So anyway, I hope that Lucas Browne's all right. This was a perfect performance from Dillian. I'm real proud of him. As I said, this is the first of 2018 where I was emotionally invested, and you know, I'll be giving him a ring at some point this week to get him on the channel, have like a little chat. Even if he doesn't want to come on the channel, that's fine. If he doesn't have time, you know, I'll just give him a call just to say congratulations, all that kind of thing. So big up Dillian Whyte, Lucas Browne. you know, commiserations. You did show that you were tough. You took some pretty big shots. And, you know, I hope that Lucas Browne's okay, of course. But ultimately, Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder. Right now, for me personally, as much as I do want to see AJ versus Wilder, if AJ gets past Parker, of course, for me, I want to see Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder for the WBC heavyweight title. And I'll tell you right now, he will beat Deontay Wilder. And I've been saying it for months now. For a long, long time now, I've been saying this to you guys ever since I started my channel a few months ago. Well, about a year or so ago now. That Dillian Whyte will beat Deontay Wilder. And then he will have an undisputed fight between two Brits, Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua, in a rematch for undisputed. Let's see what happens. Anyway, drop your thoughts below. Click that thumbs up. Big shout out to ASI Boxing community. Catch you next video.